for this divine entanglement and for joining us in all of our divine offerings, whether it be our weekly Ascension Global radio shows, our monthly Sacred Temple teachings, our prayer groups, or our gathering in sacred community and sacred soul tribe gatherings. Our love and our light is with you always, and may you enjoy with great exaltation and honor in the path that you walk, in your unfolding in every day, that we create harmony and unity in our diversity and in our oneness. May we co-create for eons to come in this now concurrent moment, and we thank you so much for joining us. For more of our offerings and for more of our co-creations together, please tune into our website, http://ulwhc.com. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Joanna from Universal Unity and the Universal Love and Light Wisdom Offerings. Thank you so much for tuning in week after week. And moment for moment, I feel all of our hearts as a collective expanding out into the far reaches of our universality of all that we are. And we see that in our unfolding of not only world events, but the energy shifting beneath our feet. And we're going to talk a little bit about ascension energies just as we get our show going. But we're going to continue over the next couple of weeks, diving deeper and wider and more rich within the divine topic of divine sacred relationship. Because it was a beautiful unfolding that I had last week in my meditative prayers and meditations and alignments and downloads that I received with my teams and with the divine and holy councils and all the beings that I'm threaded with in my consciousness mapping. We're going to talk about that today too. But we wanted to start off, first of all, with the vibration of number 5 today. It is 5-5, profound change, with a number 11 mastery. So we're changing, and we're changing into all that we are through our mastery, through our divine sacred hearts, through living in heartfelt resonance, which is divine sacred relationship. How we relate within ourselves, how we relate within the world of all that we are, and as within, so without, so too creating that divine sacred relationship in all that exists within us and without us. And so we're going to go far and deep and rich because these are the threadings of the higher intelligent programs that each and every one of us are moving through in all moments. For it is human evolution. It is the crucible. It is the ever-evolving cycle of all that we are. Constantly and ever-evolving energetic packets of information, energetic systems and mechanisms of all that we are, spinning and spiraling and ever-evolving and reaching out and moving back within and reaching out and moving back within. It's the constant infinity flow of all that we are and refining the relationship of who we are within all things, because we are ever-evolving beings. And as we evolve, so too will the world around us, for we see things and we feel things and we sense things in different ways, in richer, wider ways through our hearts, in which we desire to be the innate, peaceful, harmonic beings that we are, serene and joyful in all that we are. For each and every one of us, if we're parents, guardians, teachers, whatever it might be that our role or invocation carries us, at our heart, we just truly desire peace and serenity, and to see others walk within their creative bliss and their creative joy. At the heart of it, just for each and every one of us to know that we're loved and connected and entangling in the most sacred way that each and every one of us is able to create through our own excitement, through our own diverse belonging with God and exploration with God within. So we're going to go farther and deeper and wider in this, but just know that these vibrations of change today are ever filing through all that we are and why we see what we see. For I was downloaded this week in that same meditation with the teleos and the consciousness mapping, in that same segment of week time span, if you will, I was downloaded much information about what we see unfolding and the paths of many that are changing and feeling the ground shift beneath their feet, and all that's unfolding within the planetary frequencies. And we can bring peace and similitude and serenity and grounding and anchoring in these moments. And this is why we gather week after week after week. For you are the light workers, you are the ambassadors, you are the light holders, and you are the space keepers for light, for peace, for calm, and gentleness and kindness. And so in all ways that we do so, we can allow ourselves to shift the reality frequencies, and we can smooth out the way, if you will, of frequencies that might have otherwise caused ripples or friction or seemingly chaos. But what I was told in this download was that there's great celebration and there's great excitement, because humanity is at the point where we've gone through an awakening phase, and so many more people are awakening, so many more. I mean, it's the wave of light that is moving through every cell, every molecule of life within existence. It just is. It's evolution. It's how we evolve. And if we're feeling resistant to change, then the shaking out will appear. And what I was told is that it's a great shaking out. It's a great shuffling, if you will. For this shuffling is required so that the hearts of humanity, the inner knowing, the innate knowing of humanity, as the collective that we are, as the heart-holding family that we are, can see through full transparency what is no longer hidden. For to move within sacred living, to move within the dynamic of a collective that lives divinely sacred within oneself, divinely sacred within all others, divinely sacred within all that is. It's a vibration, it's an innate essence. Just as your innate essence, as you harmonize with God, you can feel it, you can sense it in every way. So is living sacredly. To live sacredly allows you to understand that all must be transparent. There's nothing hidden. And to live sacredly in this way means that there will be those shakings out, so that if one is not following one's heart, or that soulful purpose, or that desire within the song of the soul, or spirit is not heeded, then that shaking out will continue. Until, alas, the heart is awakened and spirit is heard. And so through these allowances and through these surrenderings into the voice of spirit, which truly what awakening and ascension is moment for moment for moment, surrendering into the voice of God within you. The God within you, the spirit within you, the divine and holy mother, father, speaking within your divine sacred heart, the very center of your being, the energetic mechanism that we call the divine sacred heart, that pulsating and beating of the soul matrices, which are electromagnetic pulses through which you create your reality. If there is resistance, or if there is block in those frequencies of not following thy divine soul plan, then it will be shown in your frequency, in what you pulsate out and what you bring back to yourself. As within, so without. What you put out is what you get back. Basic quantum physics. But we're going to understand who we are much more as we've talked about the multidimensional bodies and balancing and innately centering and bringing in within harmony of the multidimensional mechanisms of you as a Christed being of light, and how you walk about this planet. Becoming more aware of, in moment for moment for moment life, as these changes and as these divine encodations rarefy and purify all that we are as multidimensional oscillating beings of giving and receiving of quantum information and quantum light. There's reasons why there's shifting and shaking, so that you may see it for what it is, so that you may feel it for what it is, and you may follow the heart in all ways. For the heart will always guide you to where your higher self and that consciousness mapping has been aligned for you and designed for you with great effort and great care, and many, many counsels involved in your consciousness mapping. For you are, make no mistake about this, threaded within the all. And I was shown this week, in a quiet, reflective moment, that I saw myself in another frequency, in another timeline. And we only show ourselves these moments, these snippets, if you will, because we're opening up to our universality. So we're allowing ourselves to feel ourselves on other frequencies and other threads, so that we can bring forward that information and anchor it in the now and create what is needed in the now. That's why you show them those snippets to yourself. And it can be done in other ways. You can feel it, or you can sense it, or you can feel a conversation happening kind of far off in the distance, but it's actually you on another thread, allowing you to hear that word or that symbol or that sensation that you need to, so that you ground in this now moment is recentering in pure love. That's why we show them to ourselves. The higher self is saying, remind yourself of unconditional compassion. Remind yourself of unconditional love for thyself. Remember unconditional devotion to your own path, and let go of worrying about others. The all is okay. They're all running on their own individual, unique creational wheel. It's all good. What benefits the all, what is of your benevolent action in sacred living, is to hone in within thy heart of thyself and honor thyself and act upon thy inspirations, act upon thy passions, act upon those moments of fleeting, dynamic epiphanies and richness, which is your moment for moment for moment communications with your divine sacred mind, your higher self, and God, threading you through your consciousness mapping, ping, little golden particles, those golden moments of inspiration that allow you to thread yourself within the all, as the all threads within you. So you are a dynamic being of light, and these changes are rustling about, if you will, and there will be feathers that will be ruffled. For as you begin to walk thy path of authenticity, as you begin to walk thy path of sacred living, there will be those that are not ready for the vibration, or those that are on a different thread themselves. And that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. It's how it's meant to be. But stay true to your authentic voice. Stay true to your authentic path and your soul passion and what the spirit of you is calling from within. And these rustlings will occur. For all is meant to be brought to the surface so that we may see it for what it is, so that we may see how we have created in separation. We may see how we have created in fear and lack of limitation. And we can look at it and all the blessings that it's gifted us, as we've talked about many times, but we will continue to do so. For within all moments of consciousness awareness, dear lighted ones, and each and every one of us need to be reminded in every moment, that it is within the blessing, it is within the acceptance and the loving of that allows the divine energy flow, the divine sacred gifts of receptivity to be gifted to you, through you, for you. For any type of resistance in any way, whether it's through words or through actions or through resistance, will block that divine receptivity from getting to you and through you and for you. That's just how divine flow occurs. Unconditional trust that you are God. Unconditional, without wavering, innately knowing that within you there is a divine plan, and your soul, the divine sacred essence of you, is calling out to you in moments of inspiration, in moments of epiphany, in moments of spirited visionary in your dreams or in your meditations, so that you may, from the mechanism of your divine sacred heart that is pulsating out electromagnetic pulsations of your desires, of your giftedness, of your universality, here's an opportunity for you to jump on. Will you go? Will you go? Will you create peace with Gaia in this moment? Will you be still and silent, so still that nothing moves? And that voice of God, those voice of God particles, allowing you to remember in every moment, those are the voices of God, the voices of spirit that must be heeded, so that you may see the elegance and experience the elegance of all that is within you, the God within you. The grand God of all that is, as you, allowing you to be shifted and moved and flow here and there, so that you may see the elegance of how conscious empowerment truly works and lives through you. For all things live through you. And as you open and love thyself, as you open and accept thyself, as you open and love and honor thyself, honor through sacred living, divine sacred flow lives through you. God flows through you. And all things are created and manifested therein. And why these expansive topics will be continually threaded around the sacred relationship of you within the all. For it's you. You are the God essence. You are the nature. You are the wildlife. You are the family member. You are the spouse, the partner, whatever it might be that we have defined it, or that we are integrating within, harmonizing within, ever expanding environmental and socioeconomical circles, ever changing, ever evolving, and they're meant to. There will constantly be a shaking and a shifting out. They necessarily won't be as dramatic as they are, because there's many systems that we are blessing into a new resurrected state of being. Make no mistake about that. And that's the excitement that many of us have come forward. Yes, we're going to be a part of these beautiful experiences through which human collective and human paradigm living will never be the same. It will be based on benevolency and the service to the all. And why these systems and these programs and all that was that we have co-created in fear and limitation or greed or self-serving, they will come to full transparency, and they must. So too will each and every one of us, through full transparency, allowing yourself those moments of acknowledgement in your vulnerability, allowing yourself the acknowledgement of, I truly desire to live sacredly with you. How may we place all our cards on the table and truly allow our desires and our needs to be met? And what's truly important for the soul to grow, to what's truly important for the heart to be felt and heard and listened to in every way, for those needs to be met, those multidimensional needs to be met. For in our acting of this, in our behaving of this, and in this, so too is the most important lesson and the most important energetic dynamic that the children, future yous, children of today, crystalline children, need to see in every way. For in my own personal experience, the children are resisting in every way when we place schedules in front of them. They're resisting the timelines. They're resisting the going here and going there in every way. And what I was gifted through intuitive knowing and then through the intuitive voices of the all within me that are entangling with the all within them and all that is that these schedules and the timelines and all the things that we have scheduled for them are simply allowing them to feel more and more restricted and confined. For their spirits are truly expansive and dynamic, and they want a free playing field to go and explore within that's safe and that's creative and that it's benevolent, serving their soul and serving their hearts. Not doing more activities, not doing more schedules and more here and there and rustling about and driving across the city 3 times a day, which is oftentimes what I do. And there's more time spent within the car and going back and forth. And as a mother, many parents can attest to this. And at the point where the mother and the guardian and the ambassador of light of the family looks at the exhausted faces within the back seats and say, is this really worth it? Is it our old belief systems that have brought us to the table that say we must socialize and we must get our kids involved in so much just to make sure that they have the opportunities we didn't? Meanwhile, you're all exhausted. Meanwhile, your tempers are all flaring. Meanwhile. And it's not allowing for that communion of self, that communion of divine sacred living, that communion of the God within. And this is where we have to be honest. This is where we have to place our cards upon the table and say what's truly working and what's truly not. For the heart of me, as a divine soul server of creation, as a divine soul server and a devotee to creation, for simplicity and peace, I must behave in this way, and I must ground and center in Gaia. I must ground and center in my essence of God, my harmonization with silent and peacetime. I must play within nature. And so our understanding of heartfelt passion, what is heartfelt passion and how do we hone that in and how do we start behaving and living in this way? That's living sacredly. So from here on out, we will always thread within divine sacred living because it's how we are creating the vibrational resonance from the hearts of all that we are as a divine soulful collective to say, we desire to live with heartfelt passion. We desire to let go of what's not working and we desire to create from what is truly the passion within us. To live within this divine Christed passion of our creative gifts, our creative innate knowing, our creative sharing for unity consciousness, for unity harmony within our planet. And these are the innate stirrings, if you will. We've said this before. We're coming to a frequency of collective in many ways, from the individuals to the collectives moving within frequencies of what has been known and said to be the divine discontent, through which the soul and the heart will continue to thread inspirations and thread circumstances within your daily life so that you may go within and center within your God and your Christed space, within your mother and father frequencies of your divine sacred heart, and truly connect and entangle and entwine with what brings peace to thy soul, what brings the joyful passion through you, so that you may see for what is truly necessary in everyday living to be joyful and peaceful and happy with one another. Happy within yourself to know that oneself is living authentically. And in those honest moments of declaration of who your heart is guiding you within, those profound reality shifts take place. And you start stepping within stepping beyond the veils. And I see a beautiful silk veil that you can just put your hands through softly and gently and elegantly and just step through based on those heartfelt, authentic, honest moments to say, I truly desire to spend this in my meditation time, and I'm going to let go of this now. Because this creates so much more peace and joy. And out of that peace and joy, I am gifted inspirations. I am gifted my heartfelt passions through which I innately and unconditionally act upon without even questioning, without even wavering, because I know it's a threading that's entangled and meshed within my heart. And that is heartfelt living. That is sacred living. When you act upon your heart urging, your heart yearnings, And you do so with such elegance and ease. And that's how you know you're aligned with your divine higher self. You're aligned with your Christed self. It just feels so good to open up your heart and expose all that you are as the divine, honest essence that you are. For unity, consciousness is the threading, nothing held back. We're allowing ourselves to be seen and felt and heard in all ways, and we're here to co-create with passion. And releasing those resistant moments of, well, who may I hurt if I make this decision? Or what are my obligations here if I make that decision? What are my responsibilities over there to that person if I make that decision? Letting go of all of those concerns, because those are ego concerns, to keep you in that reality vibration of thinking that you had to be safe or fall in line with social guidelines, if you will, of what we've created and we've said goodbye to now, that are moving on their way. So you can see those frequencies and those vibrations, and you can feel it. And when you take your divine sacred breath and open up that pillar of light, connected and linked with your divine higher self and all of creation, and you softly intend, with your loving gorgeousness, to open up your pillar and ask in and call in your divine creative encoded breath with God, and drop to your divine sacred heart and your partnership and your relationship with Mother, Father, God, so very sacred and so very divinely threaded with all that you are as a passionate being of Christ. And you ground this pillar of light through the sands and soils of Gaia to her divine sacred crystalline heartbeat. This crystallized, this harmonized threading of soft and loving intention for you, through you, with divine creation, divine higher self, divine Holy Mother Father, divine sands and soils and crystalline grids, divine sacred Gaia heartbeat. All that you are harmonized and spiraling as a one infinity cycle. Chakras come online, red, orange, yellow, green, overlighting pink, blue, indigo, violet, opening up to your cosmic chakras. All chakras spiraling within the diamond white light of the crystalline frequencies of your perfection. Just takes a moment to center and visualize. Bring all things into harmonization, all things into balance. And you drop to your divine sacred heart. And within breath, you open your arms to creation with that inner knowing that you're linked and threaded with Mother, Father, God, and within breath. And whatever changes are happening outside, whatever shaking about or rumbling, you can center within your divine sacred mind and create a similitude of focus in love and stillness and peace and harmony, tranquility and joy. And you anchored and created as this Christed being. From your divine sacred heart center, from your divine I am will power center of compassion and love and I am knowing, you open up the divine flow through your divine beehive of energy systems of all that you are. You are open and flowing now. And your hands out to creation. How may I shift and alter what I believe to be true about who I am? How may I shift and alter all that I am so that I may open to the divine flow of God living through me? So that I may act upon without question, without wavering, my passions. So that I may allow myself to truly state with conviction and devotion what my passions are in this now moment. And they may change because I'm a divine Christed being of change and eternal light. I get that. I'm excited. And how may I call forth these passions and inspirations and epiphanies of my creative joy and bliss and the gifts of who I am in this moment, so that I may continue this infinity threading with Gaia, with her heartbeat, with her grids of change, with the Christed light that inspire me and all that I am, so that I too may walk forward, oscillating and answering the call of spirit within. As I dance in joy, as I dance in elegance, as I respond to the passions and the joys of who I am as a being of light. For these are the soul threadings, these urgings, these inspirings, these visions that come to your dreams about the sacred gifts that you practice in other frequencies, in other star systems, in other realms, in other earth lifetimes, through which you are a healer of light or a healer of sound. And these visions are coming to you now big and bold and grand and showing you and shifting you to inspire you of how your vessel moved in sacred ways and how you understood the alchemic play between all elements of sacred relationship, so that you may ignite that remembrance, you may ignite that quantum energy of knowing within the DNA, within all that you are, and bring it forward into this now moment and ground and recreate. And that was another beautiful download that I was given in this this Mother Mary divine sacred relationship remembrance teaching. And I was told that, and I was shown that at the heart of every alchemist and spiritual shaman, every metaphysic, shamanistic master of change and change agent, every master knew this, and it was at the heart of every alchemic experience was divine sacred relationship. It's at the heart. Every shaman, every alchemist knows this. For the alchemist knows of what is required within the equation of this quantum alchemy, desire, and benevolent action. And within that, within the sacred relationship and the knowing of the sacred relationship of all elements involved, as the divine source creator within all of creation knows the divine sacredness within all elements of the equation, the wheel of creation, and their sacred knowing, their sacred relationship within it all, through one and all, for the all. The alchemist knows this. The alchemist then inspires. The alchemist then creates the consciousness bedding through which the equation takes place. The elements interact with one another. The elements engage and entangle with one another to create anew, to transform and transmute anew. For you are the alchemist, make no mistake about this, of the vessel that you sit within right now. And you have the wisdom, you have the intelligence, you have the divine will within you and the love to shift and change and alter within and without. And all alchemists know this. And how sacred you are in this knowing of all elements that are required. All elements. In each diverse, in each unique way that each element comes to the table within this knowing. For all elements are understanding they're part of the equation, make no mistake about that. They understand the role of their unique play within it, just as too, so do the beings within your family circle. At a higher consciousness state, they understand there may be a catalyst for you to speak your truth. They may understand that they are a catalyst for you to go in and love yourself a little bit more. Trust yourself when you have those spirited urgings to move your hands in sacred ways and to create tone and sound, or to create the painting that soothes the eyes and the hearts of those that view it. For they are activated in sacred ways, in a myriad of ways, for this is God. This is the alchemy of God. Make no mistake about that. And you are an alchemist. Sacred relationship is at the center of it all. You with you. Infusing yourself within the equation to create the reality that you so desire. Desire a smoother and loving relationship with your body. And how may you infuse yourself within that sacred alchemic equation to see your body in such a way that you begin to embrace yourself at every chance you get, because you are so very gorgeous. Are you not? Do you not feel your divine sacred heart, dear lighted ones, and the multidimensional bodies that you exist within, feeling the particles and the pulsations of the divine sacred heart, Christed ways emanating through you now? Are your body showing you how alive you are right now, dear lighted ones, as we speak the truth of divine quantum love? And how you are sacredly sown within it all, the breath that you breathe, the soft and loving intentions that you send forth, commanding the cells and the molecules to ignite with Christed light within you. As you see the diamond white light showering love on those aspects that required a healing, or that moment of peace and stillness and time to look within one's eyes and say, you are loved. I heal my cells in this moment of now, I am loved. For often too, we feel your hearts, and many of you walk through the day without an utterance of love gifted to your heart. And we feel you. We feel your heart so very wide, and the children looking up to you, the children looking within your eyes, seeking to love themselves. And yet it might have been days or weeks or even months that someone has uttered a word of love in such a soft way that it just transmutes all the resistance you've ever held about yourself, being as gorgeous as you are. And you just ache to hear how divinely loved you are in the heart of God. And how these moments of alchemic shifting of your perspective of you, of your sacred relationship with you, so that you may open your heart and allow the divine God to gift you in your own receipt of yourself, passions, gifts, inspirations, musings, creative blessings. There's always a story. It's always a story of love, and it's quantumly moving us, is there not? The song that is sung right from the heart of Mother, Father. The utterance of the encodings of rarefied light. Gifting you in your dreams, gifting you in your breath, gifting you in those soft and gentle moments that you just want to be vulnerable with yourself, so that you may feel what love really feels like in the most unconditional way that it was meant to be gifted. Always. And the whispers that are always felt in silence and stillness with breath. And the Divine and Holy Mother, Father. Reach up through your hearts. Reach up through your souls. Through time and through space, through all realms. And their power and their eminence is unmistakable, for it'll bring you to your knees every time, and you just want to love. And you feel yourself so very loved for the first time. And the creational song whispers through your heart. You are so very unconditionally loved, dear child. You are the heart of all change, dear child. Love yourself. Gift yourself the smile and the blessing that you are. For we see and we feel you across creation when you smile. Live sacredly in the heart of who you are and own your voice as it speaks. Feel the encodations of love as the words leave your lips. And know that they will touch upon the heart of someone in need. For the quantum movement of love is eternal and limitless. And your words and your heartfelt notions have impact. And your creative dreams and your creative prayers and your blessings to the all have impact. And the moments through which we gather week after week, in the seemingly busy lives of us all, we come to meet in a collective chamber of light, etherically spread through many dimensions of resonance and sound and color and frequency and experience, so that the collective threading of the all in this alchemic moment, and the masters and the healing parties and the healing teams, our hearts are open, our hearts are wide, and creation feels our collective love and our pure intent in oneness. And the all and forever is changed For we understand, etherically, resonant in our most highest states, dear lighted ones, that we wouldn't miss these moments for anything. For in these moments of devotion and pure, unabashed love, we understand that they ripple through the soils and the sands, and they align with Christed energy. And they allow our hearts to open and allow the divine flow to live through us, so that the inspirations are unmistakable and undeniable, and we act within pure Christed passion and pure intent, as we release all expectation, but just to purely be within that moment of passion. For when you are within the moment of passion, you know it. And all time is released. And all worry is released and transmuted in that moment that you are present with passion. It's you. It's your creative Christed self in action. That's passion. And your body moves and your voice moves, and the spirit within your voice is activated. And the particles of God move through your divine pillar of light and live through the chakras and live through all that you are as a divine mechanism of light. For all of you is required in this alchemic mechanism to co-create in sacred ways, so that we may, as the Divine Mother Mary gifted me last week, the remembrance and the reminding in divine sacred living, dear lighted ones, dear children of God, we are bringing balance back to ourselves, back to our innate multidimensional Christed bodies. And in doing so, we bring balance back to the divine earthly body of Gaia within the bodies of our galaxy, within the bodies of our universes. We walk upon the soils softly. We engage with the soils upon our feet in new ways. We move about Gaia in a new way, for we are aware deeply and richly of the sacred threading, the sacred entanglement that has been lifetimes in co-creation. In this now moment that we have to co-create in light, in the most pure of our will. And we softly intend to be open within our hearts and the consciousness of the elementals and the consciousness of the trees and the waters and the sands and the soils and the air and all that is life. Consciousness aching to be with us and co-create and be sacred with us. And it is our soft and sacred intent that allows us to live this richly in sacred ways. And all that we do becomes new and sacred. Because you can feel it. You can sense it in every way. You can hear the trees embrace you. You can feel the water cleanse you, and the water gifts you with this blessing. And your vibrations of all that you are is the consciousness mapping of all that you are. Gifts a blessing back to the water. For the water within you speaks within the water within the all. For the God speaks within the God within you, the God within, the God without. Are you understanding how vast you are as the God essence that you are to live in a sacred way in all things, in all ways? Are you allowing yourself to open at your divine sacred heart and feel your way into the all that you are? And how you may walk forward within a beautiful smiling and a beautiful light and loving invocation to walk about sacredly with Gaia. And ask for her loving invitation. Gaia, I understand that I may not have realized and been awake to our loving relationship and our loving entanglement. And as you've gifted me with so much, and you do in all moments, may I walk with you softly in a new way. May I co-create with you in a sacred way, dear Gaia. For in all of your rich lessons, for in all of your unconditional love, I'm engaged now, and I desire to participate in my most sacred way. For it's the divine discontent within me to be my most illuminated version of me, to feel the radiance that it feels when I engage with you in this sacred way. And in return, I will move my body and I will sing sounds and I will create and I will emanate with love in the Christed way that it most creatively excites me. For I understand you're Christed as I am. May I entangle with you in this way, O Sacred Mother. And allow yourself to be still. Allow yourself to be present within Gaia's invitations, within Gaia's ever eternal consciousness, invitations to you, for you. It'll live through you. We are remembering through our Divine Feminine, and thank you for all the Divine Feminine Masters and Ascended Masters and Divine Mother Mary and Mother Gaia and the Holy Mother and all Divine Feminine frequencies as we are preparing ourselves to fall in love and embrace the Mother Day celebrations. To truly walk within honoring who we are as Divine Feminine, and to walk with this sacred knowing of the energies and the emissions that we place forth and how truly dynamic they are and the part that they play in shaping our reality. For all moments of thought, all moments of words that move from your lips shape your reality. And I'm often brought in every moment a recalibration and a reflection. Am I living within my sacred essence of perfection, of love, of me? Am I loving myself and honoring all that I am? So that I may gift this back forward to creation. So that I may activate the Christed gifts I've come here so excited to co-create within. Am I allowing myself to truly live within this sacred moment with Gaia and just be peaceful and present with her and listen to the communication and the wisdoms and listen to just the fun that we have co-creating together without having that self-serving notion or expectation that something must be returned. And this is an energy we are all shifting. As a collective, we are all shifting that there is sacredness just for the bliss and the joy of being sacred without having to get something in return, but just for the experience. And that's how you know you're moving within your mastery. For when all you do is sacred, just for the experience of it. And you're letting go of the what if or the response of or the expectation of. And you're just moving within the beautiful experience just to be sacred. And you'll feel that sacredness. You'll feel it from the center of your heart. The soul matrix will come forward in you and you'll feel those soul threadings. That consciousness mapping just opens up. So too does your consciousness sensing of it. You with you. You'll open up to the consciousness of the water because you've invited it in. And it's inviting you in. The consciousness of the trees in the forest. So many profound lessons and deep learnings within the forest, for it's you. There's a particle of consciousness of you within it. Allowing you to open your heart and say, I'm you. I'm here reflecting to you your beauty. May we dance. And these are rebalances that our entire planet is moving through. For I was also brought a download from the Venusians, the beings from Venus. And Venus is playing a big part right now in our planetary realignment and how we are realigning with our cosmic, I'm just seeing a playground, our cosmic playground. And the beings from Venus are playing a very big part in assisting us with the undercurrent energies of sacred living, of creating the sacred embodiment of the divine male and female in a balanced state, in a balanced frequency of light. And they've provided me a lovely gift of understanding the crystalline children and how the schedules and the reflections are making them feel and act in the way that they do. And we'll talk about that in the second hour. And because I've noticed my children going through a huge dynamic shift as I've been moving through my ascension dynamics, so too have they. But I'm seeing much more dynamic behavioral unfoldings. And it's because of not only the refinements that we're all going through as a threaded family, going through ascension, but also too, how the pressures and the stresses of these, the schedules and the confined obligations, if you will, all the things that we thought we had to sign up for and do and fill within their day. And that's not truly how they're inspired to create. just as the parents are feeling it. The parents are just as exhausted as the kids. I mean, I'm a parent, I know. There's very few parents that are out there that can't say they're just exhausted. Working the schedules that we work, working in the paradigms that we thought we had to work within. But it truly takes each one of us getting vulnerable and honest and real and having those real conversations with yourself first, aligning with your truth of who you are first and what you're here to offer first and what you're here to soak within your own love and what excites you and what passions you want to explore in your own excitement. Then, therefore, offering the platform and the table to be open for discussions within your divine sacred family. And say, well, what can we truly let go of? Because isn't it more exciting if we just go and play at the park today and we just lay on the grass and just be and let go of a few appointments? And that's truly how we shift reality dynamics. And you walk through that silk veil in which your reality is already created because you've intended the quantum equation of it, that alchemist that you've created in a sacred way. You've included all beings within the dynamic of the conversation. You've allowed your sacred voice of your Christed path to be heard and felt and known, and allowed all others theirs as well. This is opening up to the sacred behavior within these open paradigms of higher intelligent play that our whole human collective will be moving through at some point in their own unique and divine timing, and why we see unfolding what we do. Because we're ready now to behave in dynamic and sacred ways. We're ready to honor the paths of all others. We're ready to speak authentically and from our hearts and to say we can truly live within our means in this way. We don't need those extracurricular things or those extra supplementary things that we thought we needed. We don't need it because those were based on old ideas and objections of who we thought we were, what we wanted to keep up with or keep up to. Those ideals that we set for ourselves based on outdated notions of old paradigms that we're blessing and we're gifting. Say, yes, what a beautiful way. We can have a beautiful dinner and eat beautiful food that will serve our body in the highest water-based way, and the elements of all of those foods that are going to be nourishing and assisting our bodies in this beautiful celebration. And we can bless all that was because we're celebrating and we're allowing ourselves to truly see into and feel into and dance into and enliven into greater passions. And those are driven from the heart. Your passions are heartfelt. Your Christed passions are heartfelt. And they're Christed experienced through your heart. You can feel it. There's no other way to describe it. When you're in the action of your Christed excitement, it's unexplainable and I can't explain it. It's what I'm feeling right now. And it's just coming all through my divine sacred heart. And it's just like it's a beautiful rainbow of light emitting from my heart, the very center of my being, the very center of my chest. And when I'm in this excited state and this vibration and the light goes forward from me before I've understood and I create that sacred space and I softly intend and I most excitedly align with my higher self, and all that I am is a conduit of the divine and holy Mother, Father, and the heavens of all that is. When I am aligned within my Christed excitement and my Christed passion, I feel it from the very center of my being, and this is who I am. Hallelujah. And I am here, and this is my voice. And there is the passion that fills the essence of all that I am. And there was just nothing more perfect in this moment with God. That's how you know. You just know when you know. Like falling in love again and again and again, but it's you. It's you with you. You're falling in love with the voice of you, the passion of you, the Christ of you, the God of you, showing you, ever urging and ever ushering you into the magnificence of you. And it's so very godly, it's so very perfect, it's so very Christ, it's so very creative, it's so very exciting. And why? We will continue to thread our way around these beautiful divine sacred relationships, for it is us with us. And feel into how expansive and beautiful and gorgeous you are, and how sacred you are. Creation holds you as sacred. Make no mistake about that. Make no mistake about it. As if you can visualize yourself within the beautiful hands of God, just being so cradled, so gently, and so delicately. This is how you are honored. This is how you are cherished. I have seen it and I've experienced it. And it truly is the way that we have to create words and visualizations for truly how loved you are. And that you may seek your own unique and diverse ways to go within and open your heart in the most vulnerable and loving way that you are able to, with your own intuitive sensing, with your own intuitive self-love, your own intuitive self-joy and self-honor for who you are, creating that sacred relationship in those peaceful, still moments. And the essence of God will live through you, and you will just know. For it will ruffle and it will shake through every cell in your body. You will feel it. You will know. And it will be from the center of your being. And this is why the masters walked in the way that they did. For you felt the love just emanating and clearing the way with the light they emanated from the center of their being. It was pure godly light, pure godly love. The God living through them with no conditions, no expectations, just opening their heart. May the divine in me flow and tangle and co-create with the divine in you. For I get it, I trust. I act upon my Christed passion. Let's play. And so, dear lighted ones, thank you so much for always being within the etheric family and the sacred soul tribe and our universal families from all dimensions, from all frequencies, from all threadings, as we co-create every week, as we co-create and entangle in this way, and we anchor in new potentialities of our human paradigm, of our human beginnings. Join us in the second hour. We're going to review. I want to hear from you. We did last week a beautiful co-creation and a beautiful alignment as we invoked our communication divinely with crystals. So any of you that had your crystals prepared at that time, any of you that had an experience you'd like to share, join us at the bottom of the second hour. We're going to open up to questions. We're going to open up to comments. We're going to open up to any experiences that you've had in practicing your divine sacred communion with crystals, or your divine sacred communion with Gaia, with her beautiful unconditional offerings and all that she offers us, whether it be the forest or the oceans. And I sense that many of you are Gaia speakers. So please feel free to join us by either phoning in or texting in or creating comments there. Tina has the chat line open. At the bottom of our second hour, we'd like to hear from you. We'd like to hear how each and every one of you are creating and co-creating and living within your own divine sacred passion, your own divine sacred relationship, and allowing yourself to step forward in creating these new paradigms of experience and heightened behaviors with the all that is. So thank you. So join us in the bottom of the second hour for that. We'd love to hear from you. We want you to entangle with you and hear the divine light that's unfolding within each and every one of you. So thank you. So join us after the break. We're going to go farther, deeper, and wider with divine sacred relationship and multidimensional parenting. Thank you for joining us for this beautiful co-creation of love and light wisdom. May you go forward in a beautiful way as you enjoy these offerings, as you explore the God within, as you experience and express the God within. Open your hearts, dear lighted ones, and may we always co-create in love, divine harmony and balance and bliss with one another and all that is. Thank you for joining us.